Friends, it is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler, dropping in on a Friday night. That's um, nothing better to do on this really cold, dreary Friday night than to stay inside. And I am pleased to spend it here with you guys and share a little bit about something that I haven't really talked about very much since we launched it about a year ago. And so I wanted to. Just kind of give some of the details and the drive behind it, and that is about the Flower Farmer Club. And that is my private membership, and that is a place that I'm coming to love pretty deep. And so I wanted to share a little bit about it. And for any of you that aren't familiar with online communities, what that is all about is it's a place, a platform where it's behind a door. You have to be a member to actually access it. And people do all kinds of and offer all kinds of stuff in communities. And oh, hey, welcome, Eggstead Gardens. And she lives kind of close to me, about an hour away. Nice to have you here tonight. So online communities, which until you really become a part of one or hear about it, and I am going to show you a little bit of what goes on inside my club. What it is, it's your tribe, it's your people. You pick online communities based on what your passion, what your point is, and then when you go there, you're with people that have the same interest that you do. And that really changes a lot. And so our club, called the Flower Farmer Club, is focused on flower farming. And it is for aspiring, dreamer, and established and seasoned flower farmers. We have people of all levels. And, let's just say if you're that gardener that is anticipating, working towards, really wondering, you're welcome there. I'm just saying that the focus of the club and all the resources that we provide in there are really kind of focused towards starting a business of growing and selling cut flowers and building your business up. And that's what a lot of the support is about. So the community is actually accessible online here on a laptop, as well as we have an app, which is the way most of us actually access it. And let me just tell you a little bit about what goes on over there, or what you would expect in there. Once a month, we'll just talk about what happens during a month. So first off, we drop every month a new master class, of which you'll see that in just a second. And because it's some really great topics, y'all, stuff that just really is timely to what's actually unfolding. So we do a once a month master class, and that's called that is called a master class. I'm sorry. And then I have a private podcast over there that's called the Bloomcast. And that's a lot of that. I really love sharing encouragement and focusing on whatever perhaps the topic of the month is. And cool flowers or fall planting or business or whatever. It can be from a bunch of different topics. And then weekly, we do a little meetup where we call it the Sow-in Circle. And that is where I demonstrate and sow some seeds each week about what's going on here on the farm. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I sowed eucalyptus, and now we're deep into starting cool flowers. I'm starting some of those each week. We did bupleurum this past week. And then when the sunflower seed starting season for the early bird sun start, that is really the main focus all throughout the season, is really helping people master that and seeing the cash cow that they really are. So that's the Sow-in Circle. And then we have a once a month meetup that's called the Flower Farmer Forum. And that is a little mini training that kind of kicks the evening off. And then I do a live Q&A for questions that have been previously submitted. And then I take questions live during that time. But I want to tell you what's really at the heart of the community and what so let me just stop and say this now. The really biggest gift to me about this community and those resources that I just shared with you is they don't just fly away. They're cataloged in your community, meaning you have access to the past, whether it's a core, whether it's, the master class or the podcast or what have you. They are there for you to refer to whenever you want. I mean, we have people, that binge on them. There's other people that just listen to the ones when they can. It's totally and completely up to you, and you have access to them as long as you're a member. I say to people, the best way to think about this is it's just like joining the gym, but it's a lot more fun. As long as you pay your membership or you're a member, you get to come in and have access to all this stuff. And then if you decide to cancel, which you can do that at any time, then you don't have access to that stuff anymore, right? And so that's kind of the way that works. So we have these amazing resources. But for me, as a very active person on social media, if you've been following me for very long, it is the community board that's inside of our online community that I am really, really getting close with. Because think of this. So it works just like Facebook, basically. You tag people, you can DM people, you can post videos, you can post pictures, you can search it. So like you can go back, like I talked about deer fence that I got this last fall, talked about that in there. You could go in there and search deer and go right to that conversation. So it's awesome. And that's what sets it apart from social media. So social media, I post a lot of I have posted a lot of how-tos, a lot of very informative information, but once it's posted, it's done after, 12 to 24 hours. You can't really find it because you can't search it, right? And it's just gone. And that is not the case in our online community. And so that's the thing that I am just really waking up to. And what you're going to find is you're going to see me more and more inside of our community posting that type of information. But here's also the other part of this. You can count on, and I promise you, that this is a community where you can feel trusted and safe, meaning you can be completely vulnerable, as you will see me be. I mean, I'm talking about, I know sometimes I'm this way anyway. I'm a part of some business groups, garden writer groups, or author groups, or just different business groups. And I go in there and I do more stalking and watching than I do posting because I feel so inferior to those people, right? And there's attitude sometimes there. I want to say to you, that's exactly the opposite of what you're going to find inside our community. In our community, we encourage you to post your questions, no matter how basic, or, I mean, you don't want to say it, but there is no stupid question, right? And that is really true. But we want people to feel empowered. And so inside this group, you can count on that I'm the gatekeeper. And you can ask all of those questions and be prepared for real answers from me and from your members. You can tag me. There's lots of great support within there. And the other thing that I really find is that, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I'm in social, you go in, I'm doing something, I think, oh my gosh, I need to go in and check on that post, or go look something up that I saw earlier and try to find it. And you totally get hijacked looking at something else. All of a sudden you realize you're watching cute golden retriever videos and it's 30 minutes later, right? I mean, that happens to all of us all the time. Well, when you're inside of our community, it has a phone app, and you can go inside the phone app and there's not all that noise. There's no advertisements. There is no other types of stuff to kind of like drag you rabbit holes that, might seem like a cute little idea at first, but it just totally sucks your time. And I will tell you this too, and this is what I'm talking about being vulnerable over there. You know what I'm really realizing? So one of the challenges that we do challenges inside the club too. And we have a winter challenge going on right now. And that winter challenge is to pick one resource. Doesn't matter if it's a book or an online course or some resource that really could make an impact on your flower farming business, and go deep on it instead of what I'm so guilty of, doing 7 things at once. Pick a book and read that book and go read it from front to back. Stop reading 5 pages and then putting it down and never coming back to it. And we have amazing things happening over there. People are reading books, reviewing their courses, because one of the things that I have found to be very true as a this is 2025, right? A 27-year veteran flower farmer, business person, is that I don't go to I have a whole bunch of books, but I read the same books over and over again. And that's where there's real value. And that's what people are doing. They're going back and reading some of the books that help them the most and reading again. So you find these challenges inside the group to really kind of help give you that nudge. Now, I want to take you inside the club. Actually, we have a sneak peek page, and I am going to share the page with you here if I can figure that out again. All right, now let me come back over here and add it to the stage. So this is a sneak peek page that you can have access to. You can actually on social media, either on Instagram or on Facebook, if you just type on any comment, Peek, P-E-E-K, we'll DM you the link to this. But I thought I would let you actually have a look at it. And let me make it as big as I possibly can. So what you're looking at here is what we've done is created a page that just kind of highlights the different areas of resources that we actually offer. So this is the master class that just came out in January, which usually drops in the middle of the month. And I interviewed John Reinwald. He has a marketing agency, and he's actually been our marketer for the last several years. And he gave some fantastic marketing and storytelling tips, especially for those of us just getting started. You might not have a budget to do anything, but those steps that you can actually take. So that was the January masterclass. Then this is the Flower Farmer Forum. And this is where, so let's see here a minute. Let me see if I can, and I'm going to I didn't do this yet, so I haven't watched it. I'm going to let us just take a moment to actually watch a minute of this masterclass. Let's give it a whirl. Hey, friends. Welcome to this month's masterclass. I thought it was the perfect time to talk about marketing, and I was really thrilled when the owner of the marketing agency that I've used for the past 3 years agreed to share some of his insider tips with us. We're going to talk about how you can get started on social media, which means not a lot of dollars invested, but your time. And we also talk about overcoming and how you need to keep your eye out on that addictive scrolling that can happen when you're in there. And we also go into the website, how important a website is, and he even offers up some recommended platforms for you. And then the most important piece of marketing that he really is a big champion of is the email. getting your customers' email addresses or potential customer email addresses. So John talks us through several of these things, and I know it is just full of some really great gems that can help you. And so I just wanted to tell you how I met John. So one of the magazines that I have subscribed to for about 25 years now, it's called Growing for Market. And I have followed them on social media for all these years, as well as took their magazine and still do. And I noticed that their feed on Instagram, all of a sudden, several years ago, kind of got more engaging. I was more interested in it, and it just seemed to change. And then I reached out to the owner of Growing for Market, who we advertised with them, and said, "Hey, who's your marketing guy?" And that's how I got introduced to John. All right, so that's kind of what this master class is all about, right? So let me get us out of this. Y'all, it's amazing that I can do this technology. I just want to say that. It's miraculous, actually. So this is our monthly meetup. It's the Flower Farmer Forum, where I give a mini training, do some Q&As, and then we have the Bloomcast, which is a podcast that's exclusive for my members. And this January was talking about taking a productive break. These are things that pertain to people that are in business or starting businesses or focusing on businesses. Excuse me. And then here we are. This is the sewing circle. Every week I connect with you and we sow some seeds together. So that is kind of what you can actually find. Wait a minute, let me not mess this up, y'all. So that's kind of what you see inside the club, and the board, the community board is pretty amazing. As I mentioned, that's where you just really find people that are doing the same thing that you are or along that same journey. Some people are ahead of you, some people are behind you. And it's just really pretty amazing. And so what's going to be happening today is Friday, January 23rd, I think. A week from today, January 31st, we're actually closing the doors to my membership. And that's going to allow me to just focus and bear down on creating content for the club and being present there inside of the community. And I just can't tell you how exciting all that is. And if you have any questions about the club, please put them in here. And oh, Gina says sewing circle sounds supportive. You know, it is really one of the things that took me a lot of years to learn. Everybody doing these things, whether it's in business or gardening or flower farming, you know, we're doing new stuff all the time. And just hearing from somebody, this is how I do it, or you're doing it right, or it'll be all right. Yeah, you screwed it up, but just do it again. I screwed it up 10 times trying to. The support system of an online community that we've created really helps people step out to really real think like starting seeds. I mean, seeing me sow different seeds. You know, I can remember when we sowed celosia seeds last year, it was revolutionized to the one particular person that was watching. It was like they had been doing it very, very differently. It took them a really long time. So seeing is believing. So this online community that we've created is really for those folks that are pursuing flower farming and are just looking for that continuing education is the way that I feel about it. So I have an online course called Flower Farming School, the Basics. And the way that I differentiate them is Flower Farming School, the Basics, which is a big course. That is all the how-to steps, everything along the way for flower farming, everything. The club is the continuing education and the support system. They're two totally different things. The club doesn't have access to the course, and the course doesn't have access to the club. They're two totally different things, but they definitely work together if you so choose to select them. The Flower Farmer Club is $19.95 a month. Y'all, for all the resources we put in there, that is just such a value. And we have a opportunity until the membership closes next Friday, that if you buy a year, pay for a year, you get 2 months free. So that's kind of nice. And, you know, it just kind of brings you to the people that are focusing on the same thing that you actually are. And, you know, helping you as you're taking those baby steps, and as well as supporting you if you're taking bigger steps and as you gradually get there. And friendships develop in that online board. People finding each other, just like somebody coming on here tonight and they're in Hayes. That's, you know, not very far from me. It's amazing how small the world really is. And when you join an online community, that everybody has the same focus, and you know that everybody is there for each other. I mean, I don't want to use the word family, but it's kind of that way. And if anybody has questions, please post them in the comments, and I will be happy to address those. And Jesse has added in the comments the link to actually, let's see what this says. See more examples of the club in the video at the top of this page. So at the top of on our website, thegardenersworkshop.com, at the top is a yellow banner, and you can just click that to go straight to more information about the club. And so what is this? Razel, I've been watching lots of your older videos lately. One thing I can't seem to find the answer to is it too late to plant ranunculus and anemones in January? I do not grow ranunculus and anemones, so I'm sorry that I cannot help you with that. And I would just say to go online and actually put that in a search engine, and perhaps you will find that. So friends, we just want you to be aware of the club. As I mentioned earlier, the Flower Farmer Club we launched it last year, and we've just really been working to get our resources lined up, and the libraries are full of past resources, as well as each month new resources drop into your club. So it's a great way to continue in your education. But as I have mentioned, I think until you experience it, you don't understand or realize, I didn't, how valuable the trust factor and the support, and having a place to answer a question, you know, and because you can tag me in the group, as well as we have those once a month meetups. So friends, I appreciate you dropping in here. Remember, you can find it all over at thegardenersworkshop.com, and learn more about it. And you can sign up month by month, cancel at any time. And that's something else that I didn't quite understand before. I learned so much about communities in the most recent years. And so I just hope to see you on the inside. My greatest joy and love is seeing other people love their work as much as I love my work. And I think that's pretty evident to people at how passionate I am about that. And when you love your work, it makes you be excellent at it. And because you just stay after it and you're driven to do it. And this club is my result of that for me, is to help support people. Because, you know, if you don't love it, you can fall in love. You know, that is a choice that we can make. And oftentimes it's just not seeing it or doing it or understanding the way it really works. And I just hope to see you on the inside of the club, and get in before the doors close in 1 week. And I would love to meet you inside the Flower Farmer Club. All right, friends, until we meet again. And I'm actually going over to Instagram to do a little short information just like I've done here. So join me over there if you'd like. And if you think of a question, pop in and would love to try to answer it for you. All right, friends. Ciao.